Have you ever found yourself lost for words when trying to talk to someone you're interested in? Wondering why some conversations just flow and others, well, they just don't. What if I told you that ancient wisdom could hold the key to unlocking meaningful connections? Let's dive into the 10 golden rules to talk to women, inspired by Stoicism, that can make conversations not just easier, but more genuine and engaging. Rule 1. Speak with sincerity. When we talk about speaking with sincerity, we're diving into the heart of genuine human connections. This isn't about impressing someone with well-rehearsed lines or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about honesty, about aligning your words with your true thoughts and feelings. In the spirit of Stoicism, sincerity is a reflection of integrity, where your conversations mirror the authenticity of your character. It's about being real, both with yourself and with the person you're talking to. For instance, imagine you're at a bookstore and you strike up a conversation with someone browsing in your favorite section. Instead of reaching for a clever line you think they might like, you share your genuine enthusiasm. I love this author. Their stories have a way of staying with me long after I've turned the last page. Which one of their books is your favorite? This approach isn't just about making conversation. It's about sharing a piece of yourself, your interests, and genuinely wanting to know theirs in return. This sincere exchange is far more likely to lead to a meaningful dialogue. Why? Because it comes from a place of authenticity. You're not just talking to fill the silence. You're seeking a real connection based on shared interests. And even if it turns out you don't have much in common, your sincerity ensures that the conversation is memorable and meaningful. It lays a foundation of trust and respect, which are essential for any relationship, whether it blossoms into friendship, romance, or remains a pleasant, one-time interaction. Speaking with sincerity doesn't mean every conversation will spark a deep connection, but it does mean the connections you make will be genuine. It's about quality, not quantity. By choosing to speak from the heart, you invite others to do the same, creating opportunities for truly meaningful exchanges. Rule 2. Listen intently. Moving on to our second rule, listening intently is an art that goes beyond just hearing words. It's about truly engaging with what someone is sharing, showing that you value their thoughts and feelings. In the realm of Stoicism, this act of listening is deeply connected to the virtue of respect for others. It's not just about waiting for your turn to speak, but about genuinely seeking to understand the perspective of the person you're talking to. This form of active listening involves not only paying attention to their words, but also noticing their body language, tone, and the emotions behind what they're saying. It's about being fully present in the conversation, creating a space where the other person feels seen and heard. Imagine you're having a coffee with someone, and they start talking about a recent challenge they faced. Instead of jumping in with advice or a similar story of your own, you choose to listen intently. You nod, make eye contact, and maybe say, "That sounds really tough. How did you feel about that?" This approach shows that you're not just passively hearing them, but are actively engaged in understanding their experience. By doing so, you're not only respecting their need to be heard, but also deepening the connection between you two. It signals that you're there with them, in that moment, fully invested in what they're sharing. This level of attentiveness can transform conversations. It turns simple exchanges into opportunities for connection and understanding. When you listen intently, you're telling the other person that they matter to you, that what they think and feel is important. And this can make all the difference. It's not just about building rapport. It's about fostering a genuine bond based on mutual respect and empathy. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember the power of listening intently. It's one of the simplest yet most profound ways to connect with another person, honoring the depth of their human experience. This section emphasizes the significance of active listening and its role in creating meaningful connections, with an example to illustrate its impact in everyday interactions. Rule 3. Embrace the pause. Next, let's explore the importance of embracing the pause. This rule is all about the power of silence in conversation. In our fast-paced world, we're often uncomfortable with pauses, rushing to fill them with words, fearing that silence might be awkward. However, Stoicism teaches us to appreciate these moments of quiet. Embracing the pause can actually enhance understanding and connection. It allows both you and the person you're talking to a moment to reflect, to process what's been said, and to consider what to say next. This deliberate use of silence is a sign of respect and patience, showing that you're not just waiting to speak, but you're truly engaged in the conversation. Consider a scenario where you're discussing a sensitive topic with someone. They share something personal, and instead of immediately responding, you take a moment of silence. This pause isn't empty. It's filled with empathy and contemplation. It communicates that you're taking their words seriously, giving them the weight they deserve. Then, when you do speak, your response is more thoughtful and considered because you've given yourself the time to truly understand and empathize with their perspective. Embracing the pause also gives the other person a chance to add more to what they were saying, to clarify their thoughts, or to simply enjoy a moment of connection without words. It's in these pauses that we often find the most profound moments of understanding and connection. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation, don't shy away from the silence. See it as an opportunity to deepen the connection, to show that you value not just the words being exchanged, but the shared human experience behind them. By embracing the pause, you allow the conversation to unfold naturally, creating space for genuine insight and intimacy. Rule 4. Focus on what matters. Rule number 4 is about focusing on what truly matters. In conversations, it's easy to get caught up in small talk or surface-level chatter, but the magic happens when you dive deeper. This is where Stoicism can guide us. It teaches us to seek meaning and value in our interactions, encouraging us to explore topics that resonate on a deeper level. This doesn't mean every conversation has to be about life's big questions, but it does mean steering discussions to things that genuinely interest both of you. It's about finding common ground that enriches your understanding of one another. For example, you might find yourself at a social event, chatting about the weather or the latest news. While these are common conversation starters, they often don't lead to memorable interactions. Instead, you could shift the conversation to something more substantial, like a passion project you're working on or a hobby you're passionate about. You could say, "I've been really into urban gardening lately. It's fascinating how much you can grow even in small spaces. Do you have any interests that surprise people?" This pivot does more than change the subject. It invites a shared exploration of interests, hopes, dreams, or even challenges. By focusing on what matters, you're not only making the conversation more interesting, but also more meaningful. It allows both of you to share and discover what truly lights you up inside. This approach fosters a deeper connection, making the interaction memorable and significant. You're showing that you value not just polite conversation, but meaningful dialogue, where both of you can leave feeling understood and perhaps even inspired. So, next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember to focus on what matters. It's a simple shift that can transform a mundane exchange into a moment of genuine connection. Rule 5. Keep calm. Rule 5 in our journey towards meaningful conversations is to keep calm. This advice might seem simple at first glance, but its implications are profound, especially when we turn to Stoicism for guidance. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining composure and control over our reactions, regardless of the external circumstances. In the context of conversations, this means staying composed even when discussions take an unexpected turn, whether it's a difference of opinion or a topic that evokes strong emotions. Imagine you're in the middle of a discussion that suddenly becomes heated or contentious. The natural instinct might be to defend your viewpoint aggressively or to shut down the conversation altogether. However, keeping calm would involve taking a deep breath and reminding yourself that the goal of the conversation is not to win an argument, but to understand and be understood. You might say something like, "I see we have different views on this. I'd love to understand your perspective better. Can you tell me more about why you feel this way?" This approach not only diffuses tension, but also shows respect for the other person's opinions and feelings. Keeping calm allows you to navigate difficult conversations with grace and fosters an environment where open, honest communication can flourish. It's about recognizing that disagreements or strong emotions are part of human interactions, and that how we handle these moments can either deepen the connection or drive a wedge between us. By choosing to stay calm, you embody the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control, your actions and reactions, thus creating a space where meaningful dialogue can continue to grow. So, in your next conversation, remember the power of keeping calm. It's a tool that not only enhances communication, but also strengthens relationships, allowing for a deeper understanding and respect between individuals. Rule 6. Respect her perspective. Rule 6 takes us into the heart of empathy and understanding. Respect her perspective. This rule is essential for navigating conversations with sensitivity and insight. Drawing from Stoic principles, we're reminded of the importance of seeing beyond our own viewpoints. Stoicism teaches us that wisdom lies in recognizing the diversity of human experience and thought. Respecting her perspective means actively acknowledging and valuing her thoughts and feelings as equally important as your own. It's about embracing diversity of thought and using it as a bridge rather than a barrier in your conversations. For instance, imagine you're discussing a recent movie you both watched, but you find your opinions about it are polar opposites. Instead of dismissing her take or asserting yours as superior, you lean into curiosity. You could say, "It's interesting how we saw it so differently. What was it about the movie that resonated with you?" This approach does more than prevent conflict. It opens a doorway to understanding her worldview. By genuinely inquiring about her perspective, you're not only showing respect for her opinions, but also enriching your own understanding of the world. This rule is about more than just polite conversation etiquette. It's a practice in humility and growth. By respecting her perspective, you acknowledge that your understanding of the world is not complete, but can be broadened through the insights of others. It encourages a dialogue where both parties feel valued and understood, fostering a deeper, more meaningful connection. In practicing this rule, you embody a Stoic respect for logic and reason, applied not in the service of debate, but in the pursuit of mutual understanding and connection. Rule 7. Speak with kindness. Rule 7 brings us to a powerful principle: speak with kindness. This rule resonates deeply with Stoic teachings about compassion and the impact of our words on others. Speaking with kindness is about ensuring that our conversations are not just exchanges of information, but are also infused with warmth and respect. It's about recognizing the power of our words to uplift and heal, rather than to harm or belittle. Consider a situation where you're giving feedback on something she's passionate about. It's easy to slip into criticism, especially if you see room for improvement. However, speaking with kindness means framing your feedback in a way that encourages rather than discourages. You might say, "I really admire the effort you've put into this. Have you considered trying this approach? It might enhance what you've already accomplished." This way, you're not just pointing out what could be better. You're acknowledging her efforts and suggesting improvement from a place of support. Speaking with kindness is crucial because it sets the tone for the entire conversation. It's about creating an environment where both people feel safe and valued, encouraging open and honest dialogue. This rule goes beyond mere politeness. It's about consciously choosing words that foster understanding and connection. By choosing to speak with kindness, you embrace the Stoic virtue of benevolence, making every conversation an opportunity to positively impact someone's day. Remember, the goal is not just to communicate, but to connect, and speaking with kindness is a key step in that journey. Rule 8. Be curious. Rule 8 guides us to be curious. This principle is about fostering a genuine interest in the person you're talking to and their experiences. Curiosity in Stoicism is aligned with the pursuit of knowledge and the understanding that we can always learn something new from others, no matter the context. Being curious means asking questions that encourage deeper sharing and show that you're genuinely interested in what she has to say. Imagine you're talking about a book she's reading. Instead of simply noting the title and moving on, express curiosity by asking, What's something surprising you've learned from that book? Or how has that book changed your perspective on its subject? Questions like these demonstrate that you're not just making conversation for the sake of it. You're truly interested in her thoughts and experiences. This kind of inquiry invites her to share more about her interests, and in turn, provides you with a deeper understanding of who she is. Being curious also means being open to being surprised and learning from the conversation. It's about embracing the diversity of human experience and recognizing that everyone has something valuable to share. This approach can turn even casual conversations into opportunities for connection and growth. By being curious, you show that you value her as a person and are interested in what makes her unique. This rule is not just about gathering information. It's about building a bridge between your world and hers, enriching both in the process. Rule 9. Share about yourself. Moving on to Rule 9, we find the importance of sharing about yourself. This is where the dialogue becomes a two-way street, truly reflective of the Stoic belief in the interconnectedness of all individuals. Sharing about yourself isn't just about recounting your life story or achievements. It's about opening up and being vulnerable, allowing for a genuine exchange of experiences and ideas. For instance, if the conversation turns to favorite travel destinations, instead of simply listing places you've been, share a meaningful experience you had on one of those trips. You could say, "When I was in place, I had this incredible experience that really changed how I see the world. It made me realize." By doing this, you're not just providing information. You're inviting her into your world, showing her what moves you, what challenges you, and what has shaped you as a person. This rule is deeply tied to the Stoic practice of self-reflection and personal growth. By sharing your own experiences, thoughts, and feelings, you encourage a mutual exchange of personal insights and growth. It breaks down barriers and fosters a deeper level of trust and connection. Sharing about yourself can make you feel vulnerable, but it's this vulnerability that paves the way for a more profound and authentic connection. It's about showing up as your true self, inviting the other person to do the same, and creating a space where genuine understanding and connection can flourish. Rule 10. Practice gratitude. Finally, Rule 10 brings us to practice gratitude. This principle is deeply rooted in Stoicism, which teaches the importance of appreciating what we have and recognizing the value of the people and moments we encounter. Practicing gratitude in your conversations is about acknowledging and expressing appreciation for the exchange, the time shared, and the insights gained. Imagine, at the end of a conversation, instead of just saying goodbye or letting the moment fade away, you take a moment to express gratitude. You might say, "I really appreciate this conversation and getting to know you better. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me." This simple act of gratitude does more than just end the conversation on a positive note. It cements the connection that has been built, leaving a lasting impression. Practicing gratitude shows that you do not take the interaction or the person for granted. It's a way of valuing the exchange and the person's openness in sharing part of their world with you. This expression of thanks aligns with the Stoic appreciation for the present moment and the connections we make within it. By incorporating gratitude into your conversations, you not only enhance the quality of your interactions, but also cultivate a mindset that acknowledges and appreciates the richness of every encounter. Practicing gratitude is a powerful tool for deepening connections, fostering positivity, and building a foundation for ongoing meaningful interactions. So there you have it, 10 golden rules inspired by Stoicism to help you talk to women in a way that's respectful, genuine, and meaningful. Remember, it's not about the perfect words. It's about the intention behind them. Start your conversations with these rules in mind and watch how they transform not just how you talk, but how you connect on a deeper level. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into making your conversations count.